What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Ra, the third of the Egyptian gods in this series. Count Von Count is playing them all. Oh, and that's his name, Count Von Count. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is Mr. Boit. This is game number 3 of this best of 5 series for the relegations. So far, Count Von Count, while he's been getting both of the wins, it has not been easy by any stretch here, ladies and gentlemen. Count Von Count has been having a tough time of it, finishing off Mr. Boit here. We'll see if anything is going to change in this game, if Count Von Count's going to be able to find an easier win, or if Mr. Boit is finally going to be able to crack the Count Von Count in this series, as the Pharaoh searching around trying to find where those giraffe are. Now, generally speaking, you see this town center over here, you can kind of take a guess and say that they're not going to be on this side, though that doesn't really make any sense. Effectively, they should be in the first circle around your base, roughly. Where are they? Wow. This Oasis is going to be a really tough one. I'm interested to see what Count Von Count's going to do, what sort of adaptation to this build Count Von Count's going to be doing here, because he got hunting dogs for effectively 400 food worth of zebra. And he's not going to find those other giraffe up in that corner here. As we do see a relic has been found. The Osberg wagon is here. The Osberg wagon. Now, here's the thing, right? Oasis is one of those maps where I kind of have this feeling that maybe not getting hunting dogs on the 2 zebra spawn is percentage-wise better. It's percentage-wise better to not get hunting dogs here for Ra if you've got 2 zebra. Because there's... What are the chances? So there's a 2 giraffe spawn. If there's 2 giraffe, 2 zebra, 1,000 food total. Probably not worth it to get that hunting dogs, considering you can just rush the fast farms. If you get 3 zebra, that's probably still not worth it. 4 zebra, maybe worth it. 5 zebra, definitely worth it. So maybe it's like a 50% chance that it's worth it. And then you also have to find that hunt. You also have to find the hunt. It can be very, very tough. As you do see the villagers already on to the wood here for Count Von Count, as he needs to get himself that very, very fast hunting dogs. He's also decided to avoid jumping onto the chickens here early. An interesting idea. There is a build a very old build. I'm not saying it's a good build, but there is a very old build that Ra players, including myself, used to do back in the day, which was called the archaic fast farm. Idea being, you could basically leave your screen like this. As the Ra player, you could leave your screen like this, not move it at all, and be able to get to the classical age simply by doing this build. And I'm wondering if Count Von Count's got that one in the back of his mind here to be going for that type of thing. The thing is that what you need 100% is to have at least husbandry. If you don't have husbandry, the fast farm, rain, it already is bad, because the reason why it's not seen anymore is because plow gives a whopping 22% boost to the farm gather rate of the villagers, to the Egyptian villagers. But well, we'll see what's happening here. It looks like Count here is going to be able to advance nonetheless pretty soon. Hunt is a distraction. No. If you want to be a tip-top Ra player, you've got to know how to hunt. You've got to know how to not hunt. And you've got to know how to semi-hunt. Them be the breaks, ladies and gentlemen. That's the hard part about Ra. It's not just a one-strategy civilization. So we do see the priest coming out, going to be empowering this one up. I wonder if that's going to be a fast second town center here for Count Von Count or not. Was that Heimdall? No, Freya coming through here for Mr. Boit. Herser's coming in as well, as Mr. Boit over here on his baboon. He has actually moved around the map the kind of wrong way, so to speak. Monkey baboon, it's not the worst food source for Odin, because you've got the moving ox cart, you just need to ensure that you're on top of moving this ox cart around, and you make sure that your villagers are just attacking one monkey at a time. The problem is that they got 45 HP, and you don't want this to happen. That's what you don't want to have happen, but it's happening. It's not a huge deal, and we do indeed see that Mr. Boit catches it there as well. Or at least the AI catches it for him. I don't know. Some walls coming up on this position here. We do see a barracks up as well. Shadoof on the way here. And Count Von Count looks like he's basically being forced into a one town center classical fight. Delayed classical fight with farms here. This is really not what Ra wants to do. This is super, super difficult for Ra to deal with. As we've also got pickaxe. Is there any attempt at... What, did I say husbandry there? There is husband. Oh, he did go husbandry. Never mind. I thought he went hunting dogs. Never mind. He must have cancelled it. Or, I don't know. He went husbandry. So this is a much more... Yeah, great. We'll see how it's going to work for him. I thought he went hunting dogs. I'm like, how does he have husbandry, pickaxe, and hunting dogs already? Does he have plow yet? No. Forgetting plow is a big problem, as did he make a slinger there as well? Oh no. Wait, he's cancelled it. Is he realizing? Well, let's be real. One of the best Egyptian players out there always forgets plow in Joe. So Count Von Count, just a little bit of a salute to old mate Joe with that one there. Why don't you want it happening? Why don't you want two monkeys to be getting shot at? Well, one moves far away from each other. They move away from each other. And you want every villager to be really close to the ox cart. As plow coming in. Looks like a completely one town center fast heroic here. But with a handful of military units, just to check out what's happening here. I'm going to be a little bit careful with them, though. Don't want to be losing all too much here, as the army can speed walk itself. Look at how fast that priest is moving. Now, the actual... So, I'm not sure if this is true, so don't take my word for it. Maybe if somebody who knows things is in the chat. Now, there is a mechanic called snaring in Age of Mythology, which is when your unit gets attacked, it gets slowed down. You can cancel that slowdown, I believe, by spam clicking. So long as that other unit is nice and far away, like the Wadget was, you spam click to get that speed walk happening. Maybe. Hathor on the way here for Count Von Count. Someone let me know. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Where's Loggy where you need him? When you need him. Hathor, 50% on the way. Mr. Boit, on the other hand, lots of gold in the bank here. Not sure what that's for. One thing you can do if you find yourself in these positions as Odin is the goats. You can just drag them over here to the dwarves, pull the dwarves off of gold, and just chuck them onto the goats here. Yes, it's inefficient, but you're going to be able to get that food in so you can actually spend your resources. Being able to spend resources is much better than just having them in the bank. So... You can play around those sorts of macro mistakes really, really nicely with Norse. You can also play around them really nicely with every other civilization, but specifically with like Norse and Atlantean, you can make it quite easy to fix up those sorts of economic mistakes. As clearly Mr. Boit here, he's got ideas for a second town center. He's going to be retreating back with his stuff. We do see a monument coming up over here for Count Von Count as well, as a McDonald stronghold coming up. And this is like one of the... This is going to be a really, really strange game here, because we very rarely get to see one town center fast heroic Ra versus Odin. Why is it strange? Well, we just don't see it at all. And I mean, this is also a Ra that's going to have a handful of axemen as well. I like it. I like this from Count Von Count, as he does spot some villagers here. The locust getting dropped. 0 locust kills. Loses one to the Pitsukos. but 0 locust kills. That's gigantic. I thought... Oh, you just don't know. Locust is such a silly god power. It's such a silly god power. What are you supposed to do with it? Some games it just wins the game automatically for you. Some games it does nothing and loses you the game because you got 0 out of it. Part of me feels like Locust should just automatically kill. Let's just give it a number, like 4 villagers. It should just kill 4 villagers. Right? That's just what it should do. It should just like home in. Kill. 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 Oh, done. That way it's like at least you don't kill 1,000,000 villagers and win the game. And you don't get 0 kills. And it's always like going to be a consistent thing that, I don't know, maybe not. Back, we're getting sniped down. Count utilizing that Pharaoh in the army. I like the play, but generally speaking, if I ever see a Pharaoh in my opponent's army, I just rush that with my raiding cavalry. As the villagers retreating back here. Scardy coming through as well for Mr. Boit. That rock getting a lot of value here. As well as the town center getting denied is kind of a big deal here. Nice player from Count Von Count. Good aggression. He's at 90 population. He's got a lot of resources in the bank. Rushing Mythic Age here wouldn't be a bad idea for Count Von Count. Does he have upgrades? Yes, he's also got himself irrigation. No shaft mine just yet, but it does have that irrigation as we do see the rock coming in. And utilizing the rock with Axemen, that is one of the most difficult things for Norse players to deal with, because the Axemen drop in, they kill off the Herser, and then the myth units here can kill off everything else. Also having a slinger here, funnily enough, I'm not sure exactly if that's much of an assistance or not, but I really, really like this this usage of the rock here from Count Von Count. He's really kind of punishing Mr. Boit for the non-safe villager positioning here. And Count, does he have a market up? He is throwing that market up very fast. Also dropping some relics. And he's got the Osberg wagon and the arrows of Alpha. He's going to be going to that next age very, very shortly. As Mr. Boit tries to chase him down, but he's not going to be able to get there just yet. Has he stopped production? He has completely stopped production. And he will be advancing. I imagine we see Horus here. We do indeed see Horus. Oh, shit. It's not my favorite usage of the Shifting Sands in this matchup, but stealing herdables away from your opponent, it's the mental. It's just the mental of it all. You're like, oh my God, I could have played around it. I could have had my goats positioned nicer so he couldn't steal them. That kind of mental stuff. Whereas obviously like a Shifting Sands onto these dwarves here, killing off 9 dwarves is going to do a significant amount more damage than stealing those goats. But, you know, the mental of it all. As Mr. Boit, he is getting up the settlement finally here. And we'll see if that's going to be a big help, as we do see the markets getting placed in the corner here. Count Von Count going to be wanting to abuse that Osberg wagon that he's managed to grab. And the lull before the storm, as Horus is 80% of the way through. Town center's coming up here. Villagers moving forward to finish these walls off. This is one thing that a couple of top players do really well and a couple of top players don't. And that's just always being aware that this is one of those things you just have to do. You have to send the villagers at some point to get those walls down. Sending them forward early, sending them forward later. At some point, you just have to. Whenever you've got some sort of map control, you just got to do that. As we do see the cavalry now moving forward, they will be looking for that tornado on this position to take out the town center. And I guess using it on a hill fort is a completely different way to play, as the units have found themselves attacking the villages as well. Just walk through the tornado. Why not? It does nothing to you. You see siege works coming up. What's worse for Mr. Boit right now? Losing a hill fort or losing a town center? I don't really know. Kind of a difficult one. Because, I mean, losing the hill fort, he's got another one. So it's not the worst thing in the world. So he's still going to be able to make those Huskar. And the fact of the matter is here that Count von County doesn't really have that many axemen. So Huskar are going to be a good unit choice here. As the siege works coming up, hill fort coming up as well. We do see that the trade route is starting here for Mr. Boit, but Count von Count wants to put a stop to that. These villagers over here have been getting away with murder in this game, not having any defenses set up there, as the Frost Giant is going to attempt to freeze that Avenger, but the army here of Count von Count, I'm not sure it's going to mind too much. You can just rush after those dwarves here, as the Avenger does get caught out. Nice play. The Huskar coming through here. Oxcart getting targeted down. Can Count actually take that out or not is the big question. So you do see a Siege Works is up on this position here. That's going to be very, very quickly producing those siege, not siege towers, catapult. Obviously, at this point, Count von Count is very aware that potential Ragnaroks are going to be on the way, so he wants to come in and take down as many of these villages as he possibly can. So catapult going to be coming out here for Count von Count. Axe of Vengeance also coming through to allow his axemen bonus damage versus buildings with more barracks coming up. I love that technology. It's such a big, big help for the axemen in this matchup to take out buildings and also deal with Huskar and everything else. It kind of allows you to break through the enemy very, very quickly. He's got some cavalry checking this one out. The villagers over here still putting walls up on this location. There's a forest fire coming through to take out the siege works. Nice play there from Mr. Boit. Good awareness to use that one there as the axemen trying to get spammed out to deal with those Huskar. Huskar get really cleaned up very, very fast by those axemen, but there's not that many of them. There's really not that much production here for Count von Count at all. In fact, Count von Count is not even building himself the chariot archers. He's falling down in population severely here as Mr. Boit has managed to break through that army beautifully with the mass Huskar. Mr. Boit now needs to start thinking about how he can start getting himself some more food in this game to get to the Mythic Age and continue along here. Because it's a long game, and this is a big win for Mr. Boit, but won the battle, but not yet the war, so to speak. As the cavalry here, they're just continuing to run distraction duty, taking villagers out nicely. And Count at this point, he is hurting on the food a little bit here. He's got himself 64 villagers. As the axemen are still popping out, they should be winning these fights. What are the upgrades looking like? 15% probably means no upgrades. Count von Count, no upgrades as well. As this damage coming through onto Count is just really, really hurting. Count on the top side of the map as well with the villagers grabbing that gold mine. The cavalry microing nicely on that position as well. As Mr. Boit is basically just hitting the go button. How much damage can he do with these Huskar here? One axeman moving in onto this position one by one. Needs to take his time where that's concerned. Ensure that he's got the units here to clean everything else up. Because now we see a transition into Jarls. Beautiful transition into Jarls there. To deal with the incoming Axe of Vengeance Count von Count axeman here. Now Count, this isn't a crazy idea either. With the idea of having Axe of Vengeance Axeman in a rock to drop on your opponent's base to kill off the houses and town center and things like that. And we see a 4th town center getting grabbed here by Count Von Count after all is said and done. This might be a little bit too greedy, but he's going for it nonetheless. Winter Harvest coming in as Mr. Boat's farms starting to pump out. I'll keep on saying this until people remember, but if you ever have a farm set up and you do this spam clicking, as soon as one farm is set up, you can right click on that farm and the villagers will spread out onto every idle farm, including the farms that aren't built yet. And the villagers that don't have a farm at the end there will go idle. So then you can give them a farm straight after that. So it can be a really, really efficient way to set up your farms. There's a Migdol Stronghold coming up to try and defend this position. The Jarls will come through very, very fast here. Spirit of the Horizon is on the way here for Count Von Count to try and get himself some sort of answer to the Jarls and the Huskarls. And it does look like the Migdol has been denied here. And Count's probably going to be losing this position pretty hard to those Frost Giants coming in. Even with those mercenary cavalry coming out, or mercenary infantry coming out to deal with the Jarls, those Frost Giants are still going to be very strong here. So while that's going on, the Axemen pushing through here, getting a ton of damage done onto that position. And then that's going to be the town center falling as well after that. While it says 6 damage, the Axe of Vengeance gets 200% bonus damage. So the Axeman that deals 6, it's actually 6 plus 12. So they're doing 18 hack damage a second to these town centers that have 44% hacked armor. So you're still looking at like 10 damage per second or something like that. As Count here, he's got himself a decent amount of trade, so he's just going to be able to continue spamming mercenary out on this position, attacking multiple different locations at once here as the Axemen are just continuing to motor through onto this town center. Mr. Boat will be losing that one as he does push in over here to grab this gold mine. He's got to deal with so many mercenary cavalry. You do see the Frost onto this position here. Nice job to keep himself alive for the time being, as this town center is going to get torn down. Obviously, Mr. Boat knows he needs to get control of... I mean, he doesn't really need that gold mine. He could have had the top gold mine here, but... Mr. Boat's decision here to move to the bottom right to try and defend this. As the mercenary infantry targeting down the Ox Guard, it's going to be very, very annoying here. As the priests are in to deal some good damage to the Frost Giants here. Mr. Boat needs to pay attention to this and deal with that one as the... villagers shagging down the town center. One Ulf Sark repairing it, keeps it alive for just that little bit longer. A couple more villagers moving in onto this position now to take it out as the Frost just about to finish up. This town center over here most likely will be falling. This Count can just, at this point, he's got the Pharaoh empowering the trader out. The trader out with 81 gold. He's going to be getting so much gold from that he can effectively just pump mercenary out of this town center for forever. And even if he loses the town center now, he's going to have this one at the top. So he's still staying effectively here at 4 town centers, if not 5. And he gets fortified town centers as well to keep his hopes alive of getting the 5-to-1 town center advantage here. As the infantry units do manage to take out yet another hill fort. There is one other hill fort on the map here for Mr. Boat. As Count gets himself the town center, and I imagine he can get wood here, he can get gold anywhere. On the top side, the priests are still pumping out to deal with those Frost Giants. Priests, Ra priests aren't the best at killing off Frost Giants, but in the end, they are going to be the best option here. And Count Von Count, one town center, some old school play here from Count Von Count managers to make it work, as Mr. Boat just could not quite get the foothold on the map here, as Count Von Count's raids just that little bit too strong for him, as he wasn't set up to deal with them here. A really well played game from Count Von Count nonetheless. If you guys enjoyed it, Count Von Count, that means he will most likely be playing the 4th place finisher of the Challengers League. And Mr. Boit will most likely be playing the 2nd place finisher with, I believe, more playing the 3rd place finisher. I'm not sure how that is quite going to finish off, but Dem be the breaks. That's what's happening. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on Twitch. If on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next game.